Hi everyone, I'm Beth from Artshine. I'm going to be showing you today how to make explosion books. Explosion books are pretty cool. They're like an extra fancy card. You can fill it with photos or pictures from your art projects. You can put bows on them and wrap it up like a present, so when you open it up, you can send goodwill wishes to your friends and family. So come on, I'll show you how to do it. Now here are the supplies that we're going to use today. I'm using cardstock. Now if you don't have colored cardstock, that's fine. You can also use printer paper, but cardstock or something a little bit heavier is going to have your best result for this. We'll also need scissors and tape, a glue stick, a pencil and ruler, some ribbon. Now I have that colorful ribbon, but you could use curling ribbon, you could use a shoelace, doesn't really matter, a piece of fabric. I'm also using possibly some scrapbook papers or stickers or magazine pictures, photographs, words that I cut out of magazines, pieces from old art projects that I maybe didn't want to keep but had some really neat pieces to it, and some markers. I really like the metallic markers, but you could also use regular markers or pencil crayons or crayons, however you want to decorate. So those are the supplies we need. The first thing we're going to do is make 3 squares out of our paper. Now, as you know, paper does not come square. It usually comes in a rectangle format. So to make a square, what I do, I've got 2 pieces here, and if I put one vertically and one horizontal like this, then I've got a line right here. Now you could draw it just along that, but sometimes I go over the edge, so I'm just going to make a pencil line here. And I'm going to do that on 2 more pieces of paper. So I can take this one and I can do the same thing. Line up the corners, make sure it's nice and even. Put my ruler down and I'm going to trace that line. And I need one more. I think I'll use this yellow kind of spring colors that I'm using today. Same thing, line that up and put my ruler down. And there we go. So I've got 3 papers with a line. Next thing I'll have to do is cut them. Now you can cut them with scissors, or if you're lucky and you have a paper slicer at home and somebody can help you with that, then you can slice it that way too, but this doesn't take very long. So I'm just going to cut these 3 triangles. So each of these explosion books has 3 triangles. The next step is going to be to fold our 3 triangles so they look like something like this. Now, don't worry, it's not too hard. It just takes some simple folds. So the first fold we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. So I'm lining up those corners, and then I'm going to press really hard because I want to have a nice sharp crease for this one. Then I'm going to turn it back the other way. So for the next fold, now I'm going to go, it's going to look like a big X in the middle or a big plus sign. I'm going to put it up this way. Line up those corners, press really hard to get a nice sharp fold. I'm going to turn it the other way, and there. So right now it has 4 different pieces. I have one more fold, and that is going to be to make it into a triangle shape. So here we go. I'm going to do that, and there. Again, we'll have that nice sharp curve, or rather sharp fold. Now this one, I'm not going to fold backwards on. So I'm going to do that for the other 2 papers. So folding it in half, nice sharp fold. And the other way as well. Now I'm going to fold it again, this time the opposite direction. I'm lining up those corners, nice, sharp, and flipping it over one more time to get a nice fold. This time we're going to do So the square looks like a triangle now. So bring 2 points together. Nice sharp folds. So just so you know, so I'm going to have, when I open it up, there'll be 2 squares and 4 triangles. Got one more to do. Again, we're going to fold this in half, lining up those corners. And I'm going to fold it the other way. One more time. And then it's going to a triangle. So now I have these 3, and we're ready to do the part where we fold them into these. So I'm going to turn this over, and it sort of makes a little tent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push down in the middle, and oh, look, it popped up. So then I bring up these 2 corners, and then I lie it flat down, just like that. Do that again. So I'm going to make it like a tent. Poke down right in the middle, up pop those sides, bring them together, and flatten it out. I like to have those nice sharp folds when I do this. One more time. Turning it down like a tent, poking right in the middle until, oh, here they come. Bring those together and lay them flat. So now I have 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3. Now, the next part will be gluing them together. Now, this is really important that we lay this out the right way. So, see how there's an open end and a pointy end that's closed. So I'm going to have, well, first I want to decide which one do I want on my outside, which one do I want on my inside. And I might want to just do this yellow blue. I don't know. It's up to you to decide what you'd like to do. So we've got the open end here. I've got one open end. Now I'm going to do the opposite. The pointy end is going to come down here. And then on this side, it's the open end again. So they're opposites. So open, closed, open side. And this is really important to get this part right so it can open up into that explosion book. Next, I'm going to take my glue stick and I am going to cover that. Make sure you get right to the edges. Otherwise it might fall apart. And now I'm going to put this on so the closed is matching up with the open part here. And I press really hard. And I'm going to get my glue stick again and do that right on top. I'm not moving anything and I'm not switching around the directions or anything. So remember that was a closed piece there. I'm going to lay the open piece on top of it and press it down really well. Giving it a nice little massage to make it stick. And then watch. Ta-da! Let's do it again. Wow! Our next step is going to be to add a ribbon. Now this ribbon was probably about the length of my arm, and so it's going to be enough that we can tie around it. So depending on which side you want to be your top or your bottom, I'm going to take the ribbon, find the middle of it, and lay it across. Now I've done this with glue, but I find that tape holds it a little bit better. So I'm just taking a piece of tape right across the middle and laying it down. Now you think, that doesn't look very nice. So now I'm going to add a cover and at the back and at the front. So for my cover, what I'm going to use, I remember I mentioned earlier, sometimes you have some art projects that you like, but maybe I don't want to keep them forever, or I'm not sure what I want to do with them. Or maybe you have some scrapbooking paper that you really like. Anyway, I chose this project. It was a tree project from a long time ago, and I'm going to use this. I cut it to match my square. So if you need to cut it, you can use your ruler to measure your squares. And let's see, mine is, yeah, this is a tricky ruler. Oh, there we go. So mine was about 11 centimeters by 11 centimeters. So then I would measure that out on my scrapbooking paper. and I would cut that out. So I find my pencil. Alrighty. So I'm going to do it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do 10 by 10. So there's a 10 there. And I'm going to go across here. And then I'm going to do 10 centimeters here. And then I would cut my square out from that. But I've already got some things cut out, so I'm going to use those. So looking at mine, figure out which one do I like best for the front cover. I think I like this one best, so I'm going to put this one on the back. So I've got my trusty glue stick again. I'm going to really get lots of glue right to the corners. And you know what, if you don't have a glue stick, you could use regular white glue. It just might take a little bit longer to dry, and that's okay. So I'm pressing it on there, giving it that little bit of massage. And I'm going to do one on the other side. And you could use magazine pictures for this if you want. You could just color a picture and glue it right on there. You can color right on the top of it without adding a cover if you want, but I find it helps it to keep a little bit more sturdy. So there you go. And then see how the ribbon will just tie around. And it makes a nice little present for somebody. There you go. But you might be thinking, I'm not quite done. I want to add some more things to this. Well, look, you have a whole big explosion book. And let's see, what could you put in there? Maybe pictures or stickers, or you could draw funny faces in there. Maybe you have favorite recipes. Maybe you want to do a recipe exchange. Maybe it's somebody's birthday in your class or in your family, and you have everybody write a special little note for them in each of these squares. You could even do it on the other side if you want to. You could also take some of those odd little bits of scrapbooking paper. You could glue them in there as well. I like to do that. So just adds a little color. So I can put some in there. I already cut that into triangle shape, but you could do other shapes. Maybe you have some hole punches, or maybe some stencils that you want to add something on. Nice to have markers. So perhaps I want to write special messages, or now during this time when we're all home, maybe I want to write a special message to someone to be safe. Maybe I want to say, I miss you. Maybe this is something you send to a grandma or aunt and uncle or somebody that you're missing. Anyway, you could fill this however you want. It is your explosion book. Now, getting it back together, sometimes it takes a few steps. You got to practice that. But then it makes that nice little present, and here we go. Here are some samples of some explosion books. So this one, I had some leftover paper from an art project that I did. I made a ghost print and it was kind of pretty and I didn't want to throw it away. So this one made into a birthday celebration. So wishing somebody happy birthday. I used stickers to say celebrate. I had some big hole punches, so I cut out some circles. I drew a cake and some special words. And I still have plenty of room to do things on the back. So maybe if you have a photograph that you want to cut up, you can do that. Here's one. I used old Christmas cards to make one for Christmas. And there's a little cardinal. And oh, I've cut some snowflakes and some holly. And I've got lots of room to put things in here. On the other side, I have another Christmas one. So you could really use your imagination with this and have lots of fun. So I'd love to see what you do. If you have made an explosion book after doing this, I'd love you to post it on our Artshine page so we can all see how wonderful it is. Thanks so much.